Welcome back to another edition of 10 Count. It's Dave Smith, Doug Fischer, and Michael Baca here on the Undisputed Champion Network. Let's talk about 2015 in review. And Doug Fischer, your best memories from the year that was in boxing in 2015.
Well, I tell you what, I'll keep it positive and go with the best moment. The best memory of 2015 came in October, and it was when Gennady Golovkin fought David LeMieux in a middleweight title unification bout at Madison Square Garden in New York City. It wasn't so much the fight or the event, it was the fans that congregated in New York City to take in that event. It wasn't just for the Golovkin-Lemieux fight, it was also for the co-featured bout, which was between flyweight champ Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. He was fighting, on paper, a guy who was supposed to be his toughest challenge, Brian Villoria, former champ, former two-division champ. And I knew that Brian came to win that fight and really trained hard. And I actually thought Brian was going to give him a good fight, and it was Chocolatito's time to shine, as it was Gennady Golovkin's time to shine. And they had a packed Madison Square Garden cheering them on. And it was Golovkin's fans, a lot of whom were from Kazakhstan, that, you know, were from the greater New York City area, but it was also just hardcore fans from around the world. And in the days leading up to the event, I went to a bar, and it's a boxing themed bar, so boxing fans they all get together there. And it's a tiny place. The length of the bar is about as long as this room right here, and it's just really kind of like a narrow hallway. And walking from the door to the back session, I met people from Eastern Europe, from the UK, from Germany. I think there were some guys from Finland maybe, but they were fight fans from Canada and from Mexico and from numerous states from America. And they were all there, not so much to really root for a certain guy. They were just there because they loved boxing and they wanted to be there for that event. But Brian Villoria brought in hardcore fans. Chocolatito brought in a huge contingent from Nicaragua. I didn't even know he had that kind of a fan base, and that was great to see an undefeated flyweight champ. Usually flyweights don't have that kind of a following unless they're from Mexico. David LeMieux brought a lot of fans from Canada, and especially from the Quebec, Montreal region of Canada. And it was just a great time. Everybody, they were treated to a great show, but it was great energy prior to the event, during the event, and after the event.
Michael Baca, you heard Doug Fischer's opinion. 2015, what were your highlights for the year?
Well, considering 2014 was such a terrible year for boxing, 2015 kind of looks good when you bring 2014 in the mix. It was an average year, but I'm going to go outside of the box for my favorite moment, and that was in February on the day Mayweather-Pacquiao got signed. I know it was, the fight wasn't all that great. It obviously sold very well, but the day that fight got signed, I'll never forget it, because it was something I thought would never happen. But then again, I never thought I'd see something I anticipated so much be so forgetful at the end of it. Nobody's talking about, the fight of the century, and it's gone completely by us. And it's amazing the way that happened. But I'll never forget the day that fight was signed. There was actual hope. You know what I mean? Sure, it was a little bit late, but it was just great seeing those two in the ring.
And for that first round, when the bell rang,
yeah, that was awesome.
You saw Pacquiao actually sharing a ring
Yes.
with Floyd Mayweather, it was completely surreal.
Yes.
And then we were all put to sleep, and now we're kind of like, that event, which definitely was the event of the year,
yeah.
And really the event of this decade, and maybe the last 15, 20 years. It's notable for the business that it did and the attention that it attracted globally, but as a fight itself, definitely forgettable. Another big story for 2015, which was positive and negative, was the PBC, bringing boxing back to the networks and numerous basic cable platforms, from Spike to Fox to Bounce, whatever that is.
but more importantly, NBC and CBS. It was kind of exciting. It made boxing something that was just on TV all the time, and hopefully some casual fans caught some of the PBC action and weren't put to sleep or appalled by shocking knockouts and gross mismatches. But there's no denying that 2015 was colored by the PBC. Its impact was felt throughout the industry, and I think it forced promoters to up their game in some ways with Golden Boy. Moving to more streaming fights live, Top Rank moving to True TV, and doing okay with that series. But the overall effect for me, just personally, of the PBC is a boxing burnout. It was just so much boxing, oversaturation almost. And I'm an editor, so I'm supposed to keep up on everything that happens so I can assign writers to it. I cannot keep up with the PBC.
Great stuff, guys. Doug Fischer and Michael Baca as we wrapped up 2015 in the world of boxing. That's it for another edition of the 10 Count. Dave Smith again for Doug Fischer, Michael Baca on the Undisputed Champion Network. We'll talk to you next time.